2014. Meanwhile, the Longhorns trying to make it 70 consecutive Big 12 home victories here at Gregory Gym. So here we go, number 8 versus number 17. The Longhorns have won 4 in a row. And the Jayhawks come in having won 10 of their last 11 as we are underway from Gregory Gym. Fought off by Carissa Barnes. The back row for Texas. Madison Skinner with the first point of the night.
Nice shot by Skinner. Already testing the block early from Kansas, seeing what she can and can't get away with the tool.
Mentioned Texas trying to get off to a fast start. Fell behind early in both matches against BYU, and Jared Elliott told us that slow start on Thursday night was the slowest start he has ever seen from any Texas team he has coached. But they did manage to, of course, come back to win each of those contests. Tapped over, Emma Halter sliding in. Asia O'Neal with the slide and the point.
Ella Swindle already getting Asia O'Neal involved early. That's what you want, to find that chemistry with your middle right in the beginning of the first set. Asia
O'Neal had been under the weather heading into this match, not a full participant in practice this week, but ready to go tonight.
Great pass.
That one hammered past Halter by Toyosi Onabanjo, the Houston area native who transferred over to Kansas from Iowa.
That kill by Onabanjo is exactly why it's so important for Kansas to give Cameron Turner a 3-option pass, allow her to use all her offensive weapons, keep Texas's block on their toes.
Jayhawks have taken Texas to 5 sets in 2 of their last 4 meetings. Saving that one was the freshman Swindle and Skinner from the back row.
I like seeing Ella Swindle already start to spread out her sets from early on. A lot of times setters use the back row attacker as an emergency. She's using it as another hitter.
O'Neal serving. And again with the point, it's Onabanjo. And the junior middle blocker, like Kansas within 1. Jayhawks have lost just once over the last month, and their only 2 losses of the year both came in 5 sets against Texas Tech and Purdue. Onabanjo with the serve. Skinner pulls up. Reagan Cooper off the touch. Cooper, the senior transfer, having a career year. They're coming over from Texas Tech. Again, the Jayhawks off to their best start in 6 years. Top 5 in the country in assists per set and kills per set. A special season so far for Ray Bouchard. And a service error there. Meanwhile, for the Longhorns, Jared Elliott said it was a whirlwind early on in the season. Missed Asia O'Neal for the first 2 matches of the year. Madison Skinner was sick. They lost another match. Various players have dealt with injuries. But finally, starting to get into rhythm. Reaching for that one is Swindle. Halter keeps it alive. Reagan Cooper. Molly Phillips starting to heat up. Coming off 9 kills in her last match. Swindle. Wennis, the block is there, but it drops in. Point Texas.
The point is all thanks to Texas's defense. Relentless with the touches. It doesn't have to be pretty. Swindle and Halter doing bodies on the ground, trying to get that ball to stay in the middle of the court and being relentless.
Jared Elliott says that is their identity this year, defense. And the dump. Cameron Turner, one of the top players in the conference, the junior setter with the point.
That dump is not something you see often from a setter. Turner was very much off the net, used both her hands and really set it right in the middle of the court. Took Texas completely off their feet. I really like that dump right there. Now she's back row. Can't do it jumping anymore. She could still do that sitting on the ground.
Ray Bouchard has called her the best right back defender he has ever coached. Nice dig by Burns. Wenis. Elnady was there. And it drops in. Miscommunication on the Kansas end.
Cameron Turner trying to find Myers at that 3, but looked like Turner was trying to go for the 1. That's that communication that setters do with their hitters right before the point. You see that with her shirt. She's literally telling her hitters what she's going to run.
Turner, the Big 12 leader in assists per set. Setting up Cooper. Skinner comes charging in with the point. Well, just like last year, Madison Skinner starting to heat up once conference play got underway. Hitting .249 on the year, but nearly 300 in Big 12 contests. Turner.
I thought there was a touch on that hit from Reagan Cooper. And either way, I like that shot from her. She tries to go for those fingertips. That's really hard to defend because if she gets them, it's almost impossible for Emma Halter in the middle back to chase that ball down.
Cooper, the transfer from Texas Tech, having a great year. Last match, 15 kills and no errors. Right there in the middle was the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week, Bella Bergmark.
Bella Bergmark not allowing anything to cross her, and Kansas just all out of system right here, but Bella read Reagan Cooper's arm perfectly. Even though Reagan was coming down, Bella made sure she waited and timed that perfectly.
Had 15 blocks, 12 kills in the last 2 matches against BYU. And Texas on a 6-1 run with Barnes serving. Turner hammered off the block by London Davis. Skinner, 7-1, Longhorns run.
That's what you call an aggressive tip from Maddie Skinner. Not going right over the block. She's pointing right towards the middle of the court. And that spot is always open. That's when the wings have to make sure to get that ball. Do not go anywhere. More kills to come when we come back.
And at the top of the broadcast, Longhorns trying to get off to a fast start after dropping the first set both nights against BYU last week. 5-0 Texas run. Turner. Hello, Swindle. Skinner with another point.
And on that hit, Skinner didn't even have that full approach. She had that 2-step approach, which means if the ball's right above your head, you do a quick 1-2 and jump right up in the air in a nice hit line.
Madison Skinner 20th in the nation in kills per set. Averaging just over 4 per set. She's already got 5 here in the first. 8-1 Texas run. That one hammered home by London Davis, the junior out of Ohio.
London Davis, really heavy arm, making that ball fall hard, but it all starts with that pass for Kansas. That's another key for the Jayhawks. Get out of serve receive by giving your setter a great set because their offense is dominating.
Caroline Bien, former Big 12 Freshman of the Year back in 2021. A lot of depth on this Kansas team. Reaching for that one was Burns. Bergmark met at the top, a rarity. But off Turner. Elnady. In the middle, Bergmark taps it over for the point. Bella Bergmark leading the team in hitting percentage this year at a .370 rate heading into tonight. Now, it's early in this one, just 17 points in, but so far Longhorns hitting .533, Kansas .176. Elnady.
Texas middle's dominating right now, and it all starts with that connection from Ella Swindle. For Kansas, you gotta get a first good contact because when you don't get Texas your best shot, they're probably gonna get a kill on you.
Halter serving again, nearly got the ace. Molly Phillips. Kansas will get the point.
Yeah, lift called from Texas. If you're Kansas, that's a huge breath of relief because they could not get out of that rotation from Emma Halter's serve.
Molly Phillips just starting to come around as of late. Hitting 176 on the year, but nearly 280 in conference play. Tied season high in kills and blocks. In her last match against BYU, too strong there.
And Phillips' numbers have been looking a lot better in the last few matches, especially in practice, which Coach Elliott talked about with us yesterday. For her, it's all about the little mechanics. That was a great approach. The swing was a little off. She knows how to fix that quickly.
Megan Burns, freshman libero, having a terrific first season with the Jayhawks. Well, Texas ends up with the point.
Tough call if you're Texas. Being in the net, trying to defend Asia O'Neal. You got to keep it on your side. Make sure you trust your back line defense to get that dig up, because that was a great dig.
Longhorns doubling up Kansas again. We talked about the Jayhawks taking Texas to 5 sets each of the last 2 years, but both of those affairs were in Lawrence, Kansas, not here at Gregory Gym, where Texas is starting to dominate early.
Asia O'Neal, too much at the block for Kansas. And an ISO block one-on-one. Skinner a little late for that, but O'Neal doing such a good job at reading across the net and seeing where Anna Bonjo's hand was going.
London Davis off the block, and Kansas with the point.
Nice answer from London Davis. And to see your teammate just get stuffed by O'Neal, then go for her hands, that shows you how much confidence Davis is entering this match with.
Move it out of the system, get out here.
Katie Dalton serving for the Jayhawks. Madison Skinner with another point, kill number 6 here in the first set for Skinner.
And if you're Kansas, you're waiting for that set to go to Skinner from even the back row.
She's been on a roll from the service line. A career high 16 aces this year. 6 coming in the last 2 matches. Turner. Swindle with the dump, but Dalton was ready for it. Reagan Burns. O'Neal with the slide. And Texas up 17-8 here in the first.
I like how Swindle starting to test out the dump, seeing what she can and can't get away with, finally going back to O'Neal, but you're really seeing this young freshman start to test out her own offense.
Meanwhile, Asia O'Neal with the point. She's coming off one of her best offensive performances of the season. Kansas gets the point. In the last match against BYU, O'Neal hit .636 with 0 attack errors.
0 attack errors. You must be feeling pretty good after that one.
Yeah, I mean, and Jared Elliott said it was a bit of a slow start, a rough start to the season, but everybody's numbers starting to pick up now that they're in Big 12 play. The most important time of the year. And Kansas now up to double digits. Again, Texas looking to make it 70 consecutive Big 12 victories at home. Been lost here since 2014. It's the Big 12 team, Reagan Cooper. That one will drop in for the point.
Nice eye by Reagan Cooper. She has such hang time. She starts really far back with her approach, but has time in the air to literally read where Emma Halter's base is at and place the ball in the middle of the court.
She's got 35 kills in her last 2 matches. Aya El Nani with the serve. El Nani from the back row. Asia O'Neal is there. And again, Jared Elliott called this the best middle blocking duo he has ever coached, O'Neal and Bergmark.
Asia O'Neal doing a really good job at reading the blockers and mainly timing. That hit was really far off the net as she didn't bite. She waited to watch that arm and see when that swing was coming.
Doesn't look like a player who's been sick this week. 4 kills on 5 attacks. And a block just missing there. 18-12.
And this is a nice lead for Texas, but that's that situation where Texas can't give up that lead. They have to get to 21st. And Kansas, keep that ball as long as possible. Make each rotation count. 3 points, 4 points.
The senior Molly Schultz with 6 aces on the year. Charging in is Madison Skinner with the point. Unstoppable from the back row.
Skinner flying in from the back and a wide open shot. The right back really bit in. Look at Kansas, the red jersey. Left of your screen, look how far into the middle of the court she is. Skinner did a good job reading that and placing the ball in that deep corner.
She's got 7 kills already. Turner with the dump. Halter was right there waiting for it. Alnati. Jenna Wennis hammers that off the top of the block. Reagan Cooper off Bergmark, and the point for Kansas, trying to claw their way back into this opening set.
What makes Reagan Cooper so special is her length and athleticism. She has that tall, strong, lanky body, but she has herself figured out. She's a complete threat at the left front.
Team leader in kills, had more than 700 of them during her time with Texas Tech. Swindle. All of a sudden, 5-point opening set. And at Lawrence, they got swept here in Austin, so different story.
I like what Ray Richard said this week was that time's running out with Texas. We really want this one, even more so than ever.
Texas got a bullseye on their back against a number of these Big 12 opponents who will be facing them for the last time, or at least for a long time. Meanwhile, Bella Bergmark with the point. Longhorns back up by 6. Marissa Barnes, 5 aces in her last 5 matches. Emma Halter reaching for that one, somehow kept it alive. That one not stopped as London Davis with another point for the Jayhawks.
Great decision by Davis going line. I thought Skinner would have gotten that block. The tiny angle where Halter was waiting for her base and the fact that she was able to still beat out both those Texas players. Again, Davis is so confident at the front.
Davis tied for the team lead with 3 kills so far on 4 attacks. Here's BN serving. Bella Bergmark overpowers Turner and caught her off balance.
Bergmark overpowering, but look at this one-handed set from Swindle. That's how in sync she is in with her window that her middles need from her so badly. Beautiful one-handed set and a great spot by Bergmark.
Swindle up to 12 assists. Coming off a career high 44 in the last match against BYU. Batted around by Phillips. Here's Skinner with the point. Kill number 8.
Maddie Skinner doing it all and testing the hands of Kansas. She's not scared of that block. She does not care who's in front of her. She's going for those fingertips. She's cutting that ball. She's gonna get the kill.
She's doubling up her season average of 4 kills per set. And also, let's talk about Bella Bergmark and her offensive contribution. Jared Elliott said she's a significant part of the offense now. Playing really free offensively, in his words, super confident. Final season carefree out there. And we saw her last year, especially in the postseason, come up big defensively, but now offensively as well contributed.
One of the reasons that Jared Elliott said that Bella Bergmark has gotten so confident is because she's starting to read the court differently, and that's a big part of the middle blocker's job. You are literally looking at all 6 positions across the court and trying to see where is that pass going to go, where is the setter going to go. In my opinion, middle blockers have the hardest job on the floor because they have to get from left front to middle to right front and defend everything.
Bergmark, 3 kills, hitting 500 with 1 block. Texas hitting 375 so far. Kansas 167 again. The Jayhawks ranked number 17, 12-2 on the year, the best start since 2017. Both the losses came in 5 sets. Ray Bouchard said, If you would have told me we'd be 12-2 at this point, I would take it. But we could easily be 14-0 on the year, spoken like a true coach.
I was going to say, it doesn't get more coach than that. But Coach Bouchard laughed after that comment.
Meanwhile, Jared Elliott said, okay, things are starting to calm down for our team. And he was honest with us. He said, we're not a top 4 seed right now, but things could fall our way. Still plenty of time to go, about halfway through the regular season. Emma Halter serving as play resumes. Alnati. Molly Phillips. Turner got a piece of that one. Tapped over by Singletary, who is now in the match for the first time. Ariana Singletary playing in her 7th set of the season. Played 1 set last week against BYU.
Singletary, who Jared Elliott said has a $1 million arm. She's a really long athlete, can score left and right. Excited to see what she's going to do tonight.
Alnati hammers that one off Halter. Skinner. Charging in is Davis, denied by the Texas block. The Longhorns 2nd in the nation in blocks per set. Showing up again defensively tonight.
Skinner and Singletary doing such a good job at closing the block. You look at those forehands, there's no way any ball was passing through that.
Set point for Texas. Davis, Halter fights that one off somehow. Skinner! Madison Skinner calling for the touch.
Skinner not getting her way, but that was that classic Texas high ball, that really high pass to the setter, slowing down the game and giving Skinner all the time to speed up that approach. Again, not, I don't know, you could have challenged that play.
Set point again. Jared Elliott waved her off there. She argued her points. Singletary blocked. 24-17. Reagan Burns, freshman libero. Set point again for Texas. Swindle. Skinner. Molly Phillips, nobody home, and Texas takes the opening set 25-17. The Longhorns hit just under 300 in that opening set. 3-1.
Talking to the coaches this season, there's not much gray when it comes to those back-to-back matches. Either the coach loves it or is not here for it. Really different opinions.
Again, going back to the format they used during the COVID year of 2020. Some final suggestions being made by Ray Bouchard.
When you can beat the same team 2 nights in a row, to me that proves you are the better team. When you split, that shows that team that lost that first night studied film, came back, executed game plan again.
Second set underway. Texas is 25-1 all time against the Jayhawks here in Austin. Hammering home the first point is the senior Reagan Cooper.
Great in-system play for Kansas. That's how they had to start this set out if they're going to come back and tie it up with Texas.
Onabanjo serving. 5 aces on the year. Phillips with some power. The surgeon, as they call her.
Surgeon going directly down that line. Look how high Molly Phillips reaches. Look where her hand contacts that ball. And it looks like she's barely jumping. That's how physical she is. That's how athletic and powerful her hit is.
And tied a season high in kills and blocks in her last match. 3 kills so far tonight. Turner, that one drops in there. Cameron Turner, the junior setter, with the point.
Beautiful dump by Turner. Her second kill with 2 hands. She's not going for that one-handed tip. She is all tricking right now, going with 2 hands.
Fantastic play by the now 21-year-old. Celebrated her birthday 2 nights ago, but Swindle returns the favor.
I'm liking the response from Swindle saying, I have dumps on my own. And this was a great pass. but that just shows you how confident Ella Swindle is in her own offensive game.
You could see it out there with each match. Jared Elliott said that's the way it would be. It was okay if she made mistakes early on in the year. True freshman, starting for the defending national champs. With the point there moments ago, off Swindle, Akana bats it over. And that one is in. Some looks on the Texas players' faces questioning that one. There will be no challenge from Elliott.
Texas
up by 1.
Texas, to defend London Davis, has to take away that line shot for her. She is lethal going straight down in that first set and so far right now as well.
Bien serving for the Jayhawks. Jenna Wenis.
Nice coverage.
Wenis again this time gets the point. How about Emma Halter defensively?
You know, Wenis just went up to Halter and said, hey, thanks for that one, giving me a second chance.
Emma Halter up to 10 digs now. More than 200 on the season. Here is O'Neal. Charging in is Skinner. London Davis. Skinner mixing it up at the last second. Alnati got a rally going here in the second. Just reaching for it and getting it was Michaela Myers. Not the way they drew it up, but the transfer from TCU gets the point.
Myers sees Swindle running back to her base. She sees that confusion in the middle of the court and knows Swindle wouldn't get that up. Usually right front helps out with that dump. That was great vision from that Jayhawk player.
Myers was dominating presence in the middle for TCU, leading them in blocks and hitting percentage the last 3 years. That one bouncing around.
Yeah, you could call Swindle over on that one. Just a little too aggressive. You'd rather be too aggressive than not at all, right, Alex?
Well, this set, you are right, and this set is a lot tighter than the opening set early on. Kansas up by 2. 4:44 early in the second. Swindle setting up Wenis into the net. It goes. Jenna Wenis second on the team in kills, but now Texas behind 6-3. Wenis again, diving for that one was Bien. Davis, and that is in.
Davis changing up her shot. Wenis and Bergmark decided to cheat and take away that line, which they should. Davis was killing them down the line, but Davis sees that, reaches high and goes sharp corner. And how she literally drops her left shoulder, turns her entire body.
Wenis waiting for it and denied yet again. 5-0 Kansas run. What's changed here in the second set?
Momentum. And we talked about for Kansas, that's going to be the key to. Texas has a intense staff of coaches, so successful. Each of them have their own insane story. So much fun to learn about.
Have their work cut out for them right now as an ace by Kansas extends their lead. This is a far cry from the first set that Texas took, 25-17.
Kansas doing what they have to do, which is get Texas out of system from first contact. Burns doing such a good job serving aggressively in the seam.
Kansas with 7 points off 9 Burns serves. London Davis. The Jayhawks up 10-3 right now in the second.
Ray Bouchard said that Cameron Turner is one of the best right back defenders he's ever seen. If you're Texas, you are not dumping right over the block into her platform. You got to remember where that setter is and move the ball away from her.
There is a challenge on the call. We will get to that in a moment. How about London Davis right now with the team high 6 kills, hitting 500. Texas had 4 blocks in the first set, none so far here in the second.
And when people watch film on London Davis, they're planning against her. She has in-system swings. She needs to be more consistent, which is what she's doing in this match so far.
They're reviewing a potential net violation there by Wenis.
It looked like Davis might have been in the net when she was turning back to go get her approach.
After official review, Bucktoast's challenge calling for is confirmed.
So Kansas on a 7-0 run right now. The Jayhawks in the second set hitting .545, Texas zeros. Okay, so they were reviewing whether London Davis touched the net.
Clearly touched the net, and from what my eyes see.
But the call stands. However, Skinner answers emphatically.
Give Maddie Skinner a challenge she doesn't like, and she's going to come back with the biggest approach she can possibly take, with all the power coming from behind her, literally landing at the net. That's how forceful she is in hitting that ball.
First kill of the set for Skinner, 9 on the night. And skimmed the top of the net, diving for it was Caroline Bien. Phillips swats at that one. And Texas with the point. Molly Phillips now up to 4 kills.
And 6'6" Molly Phillips, just so dominant. You cannot overpass the ball to her whatsoever. It's going to go straight down in your face.
And her play improving over the past few weeks. Swindle serving again. Turner in the middle. That one hammered off the block by Anna Banjo.
Anna Banjo, who Ray Bichard said is the energy bus, plays with enthusiasm, really good offensively, mainly in picking those shots.
Said she's a chemical engineering major, so he can't help her with her homework, unfortunately. But there are a few things on the court he's been helping her with. Service error there for Kansas. Texas within 5. Each team with a couple of service errors. Kansas with 1 ace. Texas still looking for their first of the night. Now Nadi. Kansas comes right back with the point. Confidence growing there. You can see it in the Jayhawks.
For El Nadi back behind the service line, especially with this lead, that's when you serve tough. Go for the ace.
On the night, Texas hitting .255, Kansas .240. This match so far resembling the two we saw, one in 2022, the other in 2021 in Lawrence. These two teams went down to the wire.
Keep an eye on Cameron Turner, Kansas setter. She is front row right now. Don't be surprised if she comes at you with that two-handed dump.
Already has a couple of kills on the night.
Getting iced by the sweat towel, not even a timeout.
Texas back within 5 after the service error. Emma Halter, a career high 14 aces this year. Quickly shoved back over by Anna Banjo. Megan Cooper off of Swindle. Skinner. Kansas with the point.
Skinner trying to cut that ball, but her body just facing too much outside. But what an up from Ella Swindle. She's someone that literally has this crazy reflex in her. If her teammate shanks the ball, she's probably going to get a touch on it.
Using all that 6'3" frame as they continue to clean off the floor here in this set. Kansas now hitting .471, Texas 056. Anna Banjo serving. One of a number of key transfers that were brought in by Ray Bichard, who said, like a lot of coaches, you have to hit the portal hard every season. That one missed. Again, a 5-point set. Reagan Cooper coming over from Texas Tech, and her good friend Michaela Myers. Myers, who convinced Cooper to transfer over. They both played together back in 2019 with Washington State, grew up childhood friends, but then transferred to different schools as Kansas gets the point. Reagan Cooper went to that. Her friend Michaela Myers was heading over there. She changed her mind.
I love what Ray Bouchard said in telling that story was that the only reason Cooper decided to not just go to Kansas, but to even play another year of volleyball was for one reason. Michaela Myers, he said they're best buds, roommates. You see them on the screen together right now. Great chemistry on the court. A lot of fun over there.
Texas with the point. He brought up a great point that he knew how good they were because he played against both of those teams. Kansas played them over the past few years, and now you think about it with the portal, each contest is not only a battle, it's also a bit of a scouting effort as you're looking at potential future transfers from other schools. Flying in was Davis, denied by the Texas block, 15-10.
Great hang time by Wenis. I thought that ball was for sure getting hit in the middle of the court, but Wenis eyed that ball, saw that arm coming down a little slower and timed it perfectly.
First block of the set for Texas. Fans starting to get into it now. Reagan Cooper. Jenna Wenis. Hammered home by Cooper. Her career year continuing.
What a shot by Cooper. Look how high she reaches and where this ball gets cut down. She reached so high, and left of your screen, look at her left shoulder drop. She's literally reaching as high as she can in the air and giving out the hardest swing possible. 5
kills, 1 shot, the team lead tonight. Sliding over is O'Neal with the point. Asia O'Neal, 5 kills on 6 attacks.
Keep feeding the middles. Ella Swindle. Asia O'Neal is so efficient one-on-one. And how she cuts that ball back, making sure her shoulders completely turn to face the right backside.
Their last 2 matches now, 12 kills, still no attack errors, but there is a service error. And we're back to a 6-point set. Texas still looking for their first ace of the night as O'Neal and Jared Elliott discuss things. Turner setting up London Davis. So much power from the junior out of Galena, Ohio.
I keep saying how confident London Davis is, and you see it right there. Literally hitting into Bella Bergmark's hands because she sees Bergmark is rarely off the net, which you never see her messing up. And Davis read that perfectly. 7
kills for Davis, second most by any player on the floor tonight. Devin Kahawai has made her first appearance of the evening for Texas. Sophomore with 16 kills on the year, but that one drops in for a Kansas point. 19-11 Jayhawks.
Watching that play, Kahawai was blocked, but Ella Swindle put that ball really far off the net. I don't think that was the window she was going for. Again, with new hitters, you got to find their windows they want in a match.
Service error number 6 of the night for the Jayhawks. It'll be Swindle serving for the Longhorns. Freshman tied for the team lead with 16 aces in her first year on the 40 acres. Hammered off the block by Ana Banjo. Burns. Now Nadi. Kansas gets the point.
Texas has to keep the ball away from Cameron Turner. She is so good at defending, and usually teams want to hit the setter to get them out of system, but Kansas is really good at that second set. Doesn't matter if Turner takes that first ball.
Every time Texas tries to go on a run, Kansas responds, and Bergmark says, enough.
There's that perfect window from Ella Swindle coming into Bergmark's hands, barely going over the net, forcing Bergmark to speed up that offense and not giving Kansas any time to set up a 2-person block.
Bergmark hitting .571 with the block. Barnes serving. Turner with the dump. Spectacular play by the junior.
Cameron Turner's not even hiding these dumps anymore. Look at her body. She completely faces Texas' side. That's when you have no option but to read her arms. You have to block that ball. But wow, what a dump from Turner. Credit to her.
3 kills on the night. Cooper off of Barnes. Point Jayhawks.
Kansas completely in system. They're passing, the setting from Turner, and now getting Reagan Cooper back involved, who loves to hit those hands of Texas, making it really hard for that middle back to get that ball down.
Well, you wondered early on in the set if this
right here against Kansas.
Kansas currently on a 6-2 run with Aya El-Nadi serving. Jayhawks hitting .500 in this set. But service error number 7 now for Kansas. Texas with an 8.
Realistically for Texas, it's going to be really hard to come back the second set. This is where you just should go all out. Get those big swings, get that confidence back for the third set.
Turner setting up Cooper. And Kansas calling for the touch. They do get the point, so they won't have to challenge it.
Reagan Cooper avoiding Phillips' hands and going right for that line shot. And Swindle thinks that ball is out, doing a good job, foot on the line, but not reading it correctly.
Well, Jared Elliott obviously not pleased. Been a few close calls already tonight. 23-14, Jayhawks serving. Skinner with the point. First player up to 10 kills on the night.
Skinner building that momentum for her team, getting that confidence back. What a duo, O'Neal and Skinner. And then Swindle at the front as well. This is a big opportunity for Texas at the front to go on a run.
Kayla Akana serving. 11 aces in her last 8 matches. Cooper, that one skimmed off of Halter, and set point on the way for the Jayhawks.
Rare mistake by Emma Halter. She moved her platform at contact. That's not what you do. You make sure your platform's stopped. Don't think she'll be doing that much again tonight.
Turner serving for the set. That one off the Kansas block. Skinner trying to keep this second set alive for the Longhorns. Set point Kansas again. Skinner. Reagan Cooper. And there it is. The Jayhawks respond convincingly by taking set number 2, 25-16.
All thanks to the Jayhawks. And you got to remember that it's the beginning of conference play, but when it's not even conference play, a lot of these teams have already had 11 matches. It's a season in itself. Got to fully reset when Big 12 starts.
Set number 3 underway. Reaching for it is Barnes, and Kansas takes the opening point. The Jayhawks on the night hitting better than 300. Texas hitting 214. How about the attack errors? 12 for the Longhorns, just 6 for Kansas. But Bergmark answers with a kill, her 5th of the night.
Bergmark's so far off the net in that hit as well. That shows you how high she reaches.
Senior hitting 500. Turner chasing that one. Reagan Cooper denied. That'll play. Kansas with the point. Longhorns arguing that a little bit. Again, Texas still, not since the first set, have they been able to go on an extended run. Just one ace combined from these two teams tonight. Phillips. Reagan Burns, Alnati, and the Jayhawks off to the early lead, just like the last set.
Alnati, to put this in perspective, is 5'10", and she just scored off Molly Phillips. That shows you how confident she is, how athletic she is, because this matchup is not equal.
Plays for the Egyptian national team. Cannon for an arm. The junior out of Cairo. Reaching for that one was Reagan Burns. There is Alnati again. Swindle setting up Madison Skinner. Jayhawks were ready. Swooping in is London Davis. And the Longhorns get the point. Davis arguing it was touched. But it's a one-point set. Akana had just one ace in her first 4 matches, but like everyone else, heating up over conference play. 11 in her last 8. However, Texas still without an ace so far tonight.
Number 3, Reagan Burns.
What do you make of the body language, the energy from Texas right now?
It's getting a little bit to get going. It seems that when Texas has the most energy is after a huge block.
Well, there's a huge kill from Asia O'Neal to bring Texas back within 1.
Or a big kill from O'Neal. That'll do it for the momentum as well. And O'Neal with the perfect slide. All in that footwork, going off of 1 foot. That's that textbook chemistry that her and Ella Swindle have been working in so hard.
How about the middles? 12 kills. O'Neal with 6 of those. She's hitting 857 on the night. In the middle of the Texas block, ready. That one off Kahawai. Sliding over O'Neal. In the middle, and with the point is Anna Banjo.
Anna Banjo with a perfect spot, going for that seam between Skinner and Halter, and both players doing their job. The wings flying and cutting the ball off, but that ball was just hit way too hard to get.
Dalton serving. Madison Skinner. Somehow, Burns and the Jayhawks kept it going. O'Neal another slide. That one defended well by the Jayhawks. Swindle. Charging in is Skinner and absolutely knocks down Anna Banjo in the middle. Too much power from Madison Skinner.
When Skinner brings the power, good things happen for her team, because it's so hard to defend her because she hits that hard. She can really push back the blocker's hands. Anna Banjo read the ball right, read the shoulders, but her hands weren't pressed enough because Skinner hits that hard. 12
kills now for Madison Skinner. Alnati trying to answer, and she does. Again, Texas comes up with a big point and just can't make a run out of it. Longhorns just 1 block since the first set. Kahawai with the point for Texas, sophomore.
Kahawai showing her range in her reach and the ball placement, doing a great job at avoiding that defense and placing that ball in the seam.
First kill of the night. Anna Banjo. Free ball for the Jayhawks. And Kahawai there with the block. Another opportunity for Texas. Bird mark denied in the middle. Anna Banjo was there and ready.
Little surprise Swindle went with Bergmark on the ball because Anna Banjo was locked and loaded and ready. And an ISO block, that shows you how much she was reading Bergmark's arm and making sure she took away that corner that Bergmark was going for.
She's got 4 blocks on the night, more than any player from either team this evening. the point.
I like Bergmark's response. Getting blocked in the middle, then demanding that ball back from Ella Swindle and not going for the dump or the tip. She's staying really aggressive and trusting her swing.
How about the middles for Texas? O'Neal hitting 667 and Bergmark hitting 417. Cooper taps it over. Madison Skinner, that is in. And we are tied at 7.
Absolute killer coming out of Madison Skinner right now because of the power that she's bringing in her swing. In this huge approach, Ella Swindle not putting it too tight, but Skinner doing a good job at testing that middle back space.
Nearly an ace for Texas. Molly Phillips off of Burns. And the point for Texas, we're seeing a mix of the first 2 sets here in this third. Madison Skinner looking like the player we saw in the first, and Phillips putting Texas in front.
This kill like Phillips putting Texas in front because she's taking that momentum back. Volleyball is all about momentum. Who is hot right now?
That brings the crowd alive, and there is ace number 1 on the night, courtesy of Carissa Barnes, with a little help from the net.
You gotta love an assist from the net. Carissa Barnes going for that deep flow, not needing to touch the net, but Kansas not able to react in time to that rollover.
That will bring a timeout from the teams. These 2 teams square off with each team 5-0. Back to the action here at Gregory Gym. Burns saving that one. Texas on a mini 4-0 run. Make it 5-0, courtesy of Phillips.
What a caught shot from Phillips. Look how tight this ball is set. You can't get that ball unless you're Molly Phillips, the 6'6" hitter who can hit the ball from anywhere, placing it perfectly in that right back spot.
Phillips up to 6 kills after 9 in her last match. 5-0 Texas run. Skinner looking for more. They try her again. Of Burns, out of bounds. The Longhorns up by 4.
The pins are efficient, the middle's efficient. Maddie Skinner leading the way with a huge kill, testing the right front, making sure that no one's able to touch her ball. In the middle, biting at Ella Swindle right now, not able to read where the setter's going to go.
Skinner with 14 kills on 30 attacks. Diving for that one was Swindle, but the Jayhawks finally stopped this 6-0 Texas run. In this set, the Longhorns hitting 400, Kansas 333. Turner getting ready to serve. The junior top 10 all-time in Kansas history. Career assists, more than 2,100. Her team down by 3. Bergmark. Halter nearly doing the splits for that one. Skinner off the block. Cooper. Phillips ready for it and responds with the point. Phillips coming off a season-high 9 kills in her last match, up to 7 tonight.
Emma Halter putting everything on the floor and making sure that ball goes back to target, keeping the ball in play. And what an awkward set from Ella Swindle. She's behind the 10-foot line. Most people would platform, not her. She's so athletic.
Reaching for that one was Carissa Barnes. Skinner with the point. 7-1 Texas run. 15 kills for Skinner.
Carissa Barnes defending that middle back spot and making sure that ball goes back to target. Not only is the effort there, but the efficiency too. Maddie Skinner liking what she sees.
This has been one of the best matches of the season. 10-3 run with Halter serving. Reagan Cooper, Barnes there yet again. That one off the block, and Kansas back within 4.
Reagan Cooper making the right decision of changing up her shot because Carissa Barnes has that middle back spot nailed down. Going for that line shot, not exactly line, but trying to test the hands of Maddie Skinner, which clearly played out in her favor.
Cooper with 12 kills. Reagan Cooper, the daughter of former Dallas Cowboy Reggie Cooper, was a terrific defensive back at Nebraska. And a member of the Cornhuskers Football Hall of Fame. His daughter leading the team in kills with 12 and also hitting 400. And serving for the Jayhawks. Myers at the net, the transfer out of TCU, and the Jayhawks pull within 3. Kansas trying to climb back in it. Asia O'Neal seemed like she was up there forever.
Asia O'Neal's hit literally looking like a bounce pass. She is that much power coming in, swinging, coming from her shoulder, her elbow, everything, looking like a machine.
And she was sick this week. They weren't sure if she was going to play. And they're certainly glad she did 7 kills, no errors, hitting 700 with 3 blocks. A couple of digs as well. Skinner and O'Neal were there.
Skinner and O'Neal giving London Davis her first stop. And she did the right thing. That ball was really set outside. She had no other option but to cross that ball. But O'Neal and Skinner read that perfectly and matched up.
Kayla Akana. There is career ace number 110 for the junior. Barnes and Akana with aces, and Texas trying to pull away here in the 3rd. And the Longhorns took the opening set 25-17. Jayhawks responded, winning the 2nd. Al-Nani hammers that one into the block. Tapped over nicely by London Davis.
That's the first tip that we've seen from London Davis. She's doing a really good job at staying aggressive, but what she did was read the play in front of her. She saw that Skinner was really pulled up, taking away that line shot, and she made the easy decision to go right over the blocker's hands, something Texas and myself was not expecting from her.
Davis up to 8 kills, 2nd most on the night for Kansas. Swindle setting up Madison Skinner. Bien and Burns keep it alive. Sliding over O'Neal with the dart off of Burns, and the point for Texas.
O'Neal with the kill, but the defense is lights out so far. What an up from Cameron Turner. Is she a setter? Is she a libero? But finally, O'Neal with that footwork doesn't care she's going for the libero. That's how confident she is in her swing.
That is a season high 8 kills for Asia O'Neal. Coming off a season high tying 7 in her last match.
And only the 3rd set, which we know there's going to be more than 3.
O'Neal with 8, Phillips with 7. Skinner reaching for that one and out of play. 17-12. Skinner leads all players with 15 kills. 35 attacks. Katie Dalton, whose older sister, by the way, Nicole, was of course the setter for the Longhorns. Back from 2012 to 2016, winning the national championship in her first year here in Austin. Katie, the sophomore for the Jayhawks. Here's O'Neal serving for the Longhorns. Swooping in is Al-Nadi. And Kansas within 5.
Kansas number 8, Reagan Cooper. Serving number 17, Al-Nadi.
Al-Nadi 2nd on the team in kills and aces. This year, Kansas with just 1 ace and 8 service errors so far tonight. And that one is in. Ace number 2 on the evening for the Jayhawks.
It looks like Emma Halter and Maddie Skinner both crossed over the seams and both decided the ball was going out. That's how much the ball drops from El Nadi. Nasty top spin.
Bella Bergmark in the middle. Knocks down Burns on the point.
A rotation Texas had to get out of that serve of El Nadi, and Halter with the 3-option pass, allowing Swindle to run any offense she wants, and why not run Bergmark?
Feed Bergmark. She's hitting .429 on the night. Turner tried to dump. Kahawai off the block and the point for Texas.
Kahawai making production happen even when she's not tight on the net. That's because she can cut that ball. Literally drops her pinky, lifts the thumb, and makes sure to get this barely touch off the block in front of her.
She's got 2 kills on 5 attacks so far tonight. Swindle serving. Kahawai with the grin on her face afterwards.
Kahawai's momentum is contagious. She gets the kill, and now she gets the block, and it's an ISO block. She doesn't even need Bergmark up against her. She can do that. She has that reach, that range. The ball literally hitting her wrist. That's because she reaches that high.
It's the largest lead of the set for Texas. Reagan Cooper, that one off Skinner. What effort by Madison Skinner. Diving for it, unable to save the point was McGee. Kahawai starting to take over here late in the third.
Kahawai playing loose and confident. That's all it takes is 1 kill, leading to a block, to another. Doing a good job at placing that ball away from all the red jerseys, reading the play in front of her, and being really confident in whatever swing she decides to take.
4-0 run for Texas. Too far, 22-15. Well, on the night, Texas hitting .297, Kansas hitting .298. Each team also with a couple of aces, close in a number of categories. But the Longhorns up by 7 here in the third. Molly Phillips. She has shown more power tonight than we've seen in a long time.
Great kill from Phillips, but look how awkward this pass from Halter is. Way off, but she makes her shoulders turn back into Swindle. Doesn't matter how pretty it looks. She is that efficient with her passing.
She's got 8 kills, 1 shy of tying her season high. Service error by Barnes. Well, Texas had 6 attack errors in each of the first 2 sets, but just 1 here in the third. To help them maintain that 7-point lead. Bella Bergmark. McGee was there. Cooper. Molly Phillips. Turner setting up Reagan Cooper off of Halter. Oh, and taking his spill. Looked like Carissa Barnes, but pops right back up. Dangerous looking play.
Carissa Barnes is that player, though. She's going to go for the ball, go all out, no matter what it takes. Clearly tried to stop, but just tripped a little bit.
Fortunately, okay. Turner serving for the Jayhawks. Madison Skinner. That one sky high off of Burns. Cooper. Skinner. They'll try Skinner again. Reaching for that one is Turner, and sliding in was Reagan Burns. Swindle. Molly Phillips gets the point, and set point on the way for Texas. Molly Phillips has tied a season high with 9 kills. by Skinner. Kansas gets the point. And Texas took the opening set 25-17. Lost the second 25-16. And it'll be set point for the Longhorns again. The end serving. Texas grabs a 2-1 lead.
Huge response by Texas, hitting 100. That's as involved as the pins. That shows you how efficient Emma Halter, Carissa Barnes, the back row is in letting Ella Swindle find those middle blockers, those workhorses of the team.
And you have a number of Texas players playing their best ball of the year right now at this point in the season, whether it's O'Neal, Molly Phillips. Swindle keeps improving with each match. Carissa Barnes as well.
Devin Kahahawai getting in there, getting those kills.
Had a big third set and a block as well. So here we go, entering set number 4 with each team hitting 300 on the night. And Texas takes the opening point of the 4th. Again, these two teams will be back at it again tomorrow night. Texas, meanwhile, has 11 points off 17 Barnes serves. Turner behind her. Skinner met by the Kansas block. Alnati reaching for that one was Swindle. Burns is there. Reagan Cooper off the block, diving with Swindle to keep it alive. But Kansas gets their first point of the set.
Toy on a banjo is someone that you got to make sure you get around her hands, because she will read you. She'll read your shoulder, where you're facing, and block you.
It's been a close match. Each team with nearly identical hitting percentages, digs, and aces. But it's Texas with a 2-1 lead, winning the first and the third. Again, the Longhorns looking to make it 70 consecutive Big 12 wins at home. Bergmark punches that one up. In the middle, pancake by Halter, but ultimately Kansas ends up with the point.
Kansas being really scrappy and making sure they're getting Emma Halter on the ground, getting Texas out of system.
On a banjo serving, she's got 5 kills and 5 blocks on the night. Bella Bergmark wound up for that one and winds up getting the point.
Bella Bergmark is just swinging so fast. It's not giving the Jayhawks any time to react and make sure their platform goes back to target. She's hitting that hard and that fast.
Bella Bergmark up to 8 kills on the night. Her season high is 10. Alnati from the back row. And Kansas with the point. Has that huge swing, the 5'10" junior.
Alnati just got a tool off Maddie Skinner, Asia O'Neal, and Molly Phillips. A triple block. That shows you how efficient and confident she is as a hitter.
Has that power. Kansas up by 1. Phillips trying to answer. Cooper off the block. Molly Phillips with the point in kill number 10 as she extends her season high in that category.
Big swing by Phillips, moving that ball around. Kansas not able to get in base, and Reagan Cooper's swing was there. Her block looked great, but Molly Phillips read Cooper's hands and went around it.
Kana with one of 2 Texas aces on the night. Cooper with the point. Reagan Cooper up to 14 kills, hitting better than 300. Again, she had 35 kills in her last 2 matches against Houston. Bien ready to serve for the Jayhawks. A couple of aces and 8 service errors by Kansas on the night. Skinner. And that one missed. Skinner up to 42 attacks now with 15 kills. Service error number 9 for Kansas.
And this set's going to be all about who can go on leads, make those serving opportunities last as long as possible, extend the run.
Madison Skinner against 6 aces in her last 2 matches. That one smashed off of Skinner. In the middle, Myers denied, and the Texas block showing up. Their 8th block of the night.
Skinner with the defense, body on the ground, making sure it goes back to target. She could have easily been shanked, but she read it right. And Asia O'Neal with the front line defense, barely putting her hands over the net, but she read that call perfectly.
Tied at 5 early in the 4th. Bouncing around in the ace for Skinner. Her team leading 17th of the year.
It's all about momentum. You can literally feel it in Gregory Gym right now. It's all going Texas's way. From the service line, the defense at the front, the back, the momentum's in their hands. And that shows you how quickly the momentum changes in volleyball. It's the most frustrating thing. It's the most fun thing. It keeps you on your toes.
Serving for Kansas, Reagan Burns. Top 10 of the Big 12 in digs. Her freshman year, O'Neal. And Kansas unable to recover. Texas back up by 1.
Kansas has to control the controllables, which means you can't beat yourself. You got to stay in system, especially when O'Neal gives you a free ball. That doesn't happen.
Asia O'Neal up to 16 kills in her last 2 matches without an attack error. O'Neal. Devin Kahawai. Spotting is Kansas, but too strong, too far. Horns by 2. O'Neal. Al-Nadi. O'Neal with the effort. Al-Nadi again. Fought off by O'Neal, but sent home by Anna Banjo.
Anna Banjo taking that assist from O'Neal and putting it right back to the Longhorns. And if you're the Horns, you got to just get your platform ready, put your helmet on, because that ball is coming right back down. Great read from Anna Banjo, defending her side of the net.
6 kills and 5 blocks for the transfer from Iowa. Back and forth, 4th set. And again, that potent move by Cameron Turner. We saw it a ton early on in this match, and she has tied it at 8.
4th kill by Turner, and look how high she reaches. It's not that high over the net. Birkmark is right against her. That just shows you Turner's reading the player.
Kahawai wound up, but was denied by the Kansas block. He'll try her again. Swindle. Madison Skinner from the back row. That one deflected into the stands. Kill number 16 for Skinner.
You can literally hear the contact being made by Maddie Skinner. She's coming with all the force and power, and it looked like she was going right. She showed her right shoulder, but then changes last second, getting Kansas completely off their feet.
On the verge of a double-double with 16 kills and 9 digs. Al-Nadi wide.
Elnady swinging like she's taking it personal. Fiery player.
Second most attacks on the team tonight, 27. 6 kills on those 27 attacks. Here's Swindle. There she is again, Elnady. Molly Phillips, absolutely no one there. Phillips up to 11 kills, second most on the night for the Longhorns.
Way to come out of a timeout when someone is trying to ice you than Ella Swindle going for that deep float, being extremely aggressive. You can see Jarrett Elliott giving her the zone.
Swindle has now tied Madison Skinner for the team lead in aces with 17. But the service error puts it back to a 3-point set.
The miss doesn't sting as much when you got an ace right before.
Texas with 4 aces on the night. 2 more than Kansas. Elnady serving. Hammered by Kahawai. Kansas responds. Halter. Just pushed over. A free ball for Texas. Back to Devin Kahawai. What a dig by Reagan Burns. Sliding over Skinner. She has a double-double, 4th of the season, but Kansas with the point, back within 2.
Swindle trying to move that ball around. That swing by Kahawai I thought was going straight down for sure. That was such a great up by Kansas libero Reagan Burns.
Elnady serving again for the Jayhawks. On the night, Texas hitting 267, Kansas 254. Jarrett Elliott getting a yellow card a moment ago. Bergmark into the net.
Jarrett Elliott just getting really emotional. That's what this game is about. A lot of these coaches in the Big 12 have played against each other for years. It's hard not to take it personal.
Intense match in Big 12 play. Again, these teams have had some close contests over the last couple of seasons. Kahawai, that is in for the Texas point.
Kahawai showing what she can do at the left front. She's being so powerful and going for shots. She's being purposeful with her swing, that ball placement. She has all the confidence in the world here against Kansas. Oh, and she's getting some hugs.
4 kills, yeah. Big smile on her face, putting Texas back up by 2. She's come up with some big points over the last 2 sets. But Reagan Cooper answers, kill number 15.
Reagan Cooper just has this flow about her approach that translates to her swing, where she places the ball. It's like she's a ballerina, but a volleyball player at the same time.
50 kills in her last 3 matches. To a 1-point lead here in the 4th. Making Texas by 2.
And this set's really close right now, but it's all about that momentum. It feels like Texas is 5 points ahead because they have the momentum right now.
Timeout is called. May have a possible challenge on that last point. Ray Bouchard is challenging that call.
The service line, so things can be used even if you don't get the challenge to go your way.
And Texas retains the point, like you said, at least trying to slow down momentum, giving his team a breather. Ray Bouchard. But the Longhorns up by 2. Halter serving. Each team with 1 challenge remaining. And Halter with an ace. Texas's 5th of the night. Halter with an ace. Swindle, Barnes, Akana, and Skinner as well.
Jarrett Elliott telling Halter to take out Reagan Cooper, try to isolate her from being a threat at the left front. That's a great game plan for the Longhorns.
Texas with 3 of their 5 aces on the night coming in this set. Reagan Cooper got all of that one.
Reagan Cooper continuously proves herself as that player. When she makes an error, she wants the ball back, and she's not going to give you a tip. She's going to come with that all-out swing, and she reads right in between Asia O'Neal and sees that split and takes advantage.
Trying to keep the Jayhawks night alive. Diving in for that one was Carissa Barnes, but Kansas within 1.
Kansas building their own momentum right now. Something to take note. Cameron Turner is now back row, so if she dumps, it's going to be with both feet staying on the ground.
Asia O'Neal swats that one down. 11 kills on the night for O'Neal.
Asia O'Neal is so good because even when the ball is over her shoulder, she has that reach to make production happen, even when it's not that perfectly timed set for her.
O'Neal and Phillips with career nights as far as kills are concerned. Each team now with 9 service errors. 1 point set. Caroline Bien, the junior from Overland Park, Kansas, serving for the Jayhawks, who are within 1. Skinner charging in was Ella Swindle. Madison Skinner. Halter. Skinner again ends up with the point. Bien batted at that one. But
Hustle
Skinner
play.
too powerful.
Hustle play for the Longhorns, and Skinner finding that power, making sure she makes production happen off Emma Halter's swing. And even though Kansas knows the ball has to go to Skinner and that out of system play, they still can't defend it because she has that much power.
Skinner with 17 kills, right about at her season average of 4%, top 20 in the nation. Texas trying to pull away here in the 4th, now up by 3 as a timeout is called by Kansas. The sophomore has come up big in the 3rd and 4th sets.
Kahawai making that kill look easy. You cannot overpass to anyone.
On LHN. Skinner ready to serve with Texas up by 3 in the 4th. Swooping in Al-Nadi. Swindle with the dump. Diving in at the last second was Bien. Emma Halter. Unreal. Al-Nadi, however, gets the point.
Al-Nadi with the kill, but that dig from Emma Halter was my favorite dig of the season from her. All-out effort. And that just shows you how hard Kansas is hitting, how high that ball goes off her platform. That's how powerful the Jayhawks are.
Sensational play by Halter. 18 digs on the night. Kansas with the point. (19-16) Longhorns. Kansas running out of time. Asia O'Neal, a season high 11 kills, hitting .786 with 5 blocks and 4 digs. There's another. Swindle! Texas gets the point.
Looks like a lift call was on Kansas when they try to throw that ball back over. And that move can be hard. If it's not timed perfectly, it might look like a lift to the ref.
O'Neal serving again. Asia O'Neal, last 2 matches, 18 kills, 0 attack errors. Al-Nadi with the point. She has been busy in this set, up to 36 total attacks on the night, and now 8 kills. Katie Dalton serving for the Jayhawks. And that one is in. Texas gets the point, but Kansas arguing. Ray Bouchard reaches for the green card, and we will have a challenge.
Ray Bouchard has the best look for that challenge. Oftentimes, coaches won't even see the look. They'll have to listen to their players on the court, but he was standing right there. My view, I thought that ball was out. I did think the ball was out. Oh, okay, this look looks a little close. Might touch the white. What do you think, Alex? I think it might have touched the white line. You think it's out? Okay.
I think it's out on a
He thinks it's out.
On the attack. We zoom in on that one.
Oh, that is definitely a good call to challenge that play. And like we said, Ray Bouchard is literally on. This might be a better look.
I think it's out.
Ooh.
Regardless, Ray Bouchard, I mean, it's a crucial point in the match.
I don't know. This ball could be called either way, honestly. And for a call to be overturned, there has to be overwhelming video evidence for the refs to change their decision from the initial call.
Kansas on the ropes right now, down 2-1, down by 4 in the 4th. Longhorns with momentum on the night. Madison Skinner, the team high 17 kills for Kansas. Reagan Cooper leading the way with 17 as well.
And right now, looking at the hitting percentage for both teams, Kansas hitting .054, Texas hitting .156. You wouldn't think that's good, but the defense is just all out on both sides right now. We're seeing great rallies, all-out efforts. This is the set that these coaches want to see from their team when it comes to effort.
Here's another look.
It does look like, okay, I guess I would say it's out, Alex.
You're flip-flopping.
No, I do think it's out, but like, if I'm Kansas, I'm saying it's in. Like, it could really go either way, honestly, but if I had to pick, I'm gonna say it's out.
They continue.
But that is absolutely worth grabbing that green challenge card for if you're Ray Bouchard.
Again, with the match pretty much on the line at this point in the night. Review is over.
Oh.
Well, like I said,
we were both wrong. You're trying to act like you knew it was going out over there.
That's a huge point, needless to say.
Absolutely.
For Ray Bouchard and his squad now within 2. It's on the verge of being 21-17, instead 20-18. Dalton serving. Madison Skinner. No reviewing that one.
Statement kill by Madison Skinner from behind the 10-foot line. Looking like she's a front row player because of that ball where it dropped. It literally snaps in the middle of the court. You would think she's hitting from the middle front. That's how hard she's hitting. This time, Bergmark and the Longhorns were ready for the Turner dump attempt. 22-18. The first time of the match, Texas has denied Cameron Turner of her dump. Bella Bergmark doing a good job at biting with the setter, reading where her arms are facing. Texas with 10 blocks on the night. That one finds its way to the floor. Cameron Turner staying confident in her ability, doesn't care who's in front of her, who she's facing against the net. She's going to go for the ball. Aya El-Nadi, 8 kills and 9 digs on the night. And an ace as well. Make it 2. Back to a 2-point set. That's not the first time El Nadi has gone for Emma Halter. She wants to take out the Texas libero. She's taking this match personally.
And what a match it is. Kansas refusing to go away. El Nadi gets all of that one, back-to-back aces, and the Jayhawks within one. And Texas calls timeout. El Nadi on a roll. 3 aces on the night. With a huge point. A clutch performance tonight by the sophomore, and she has now tied a career high with 6 kills.
Kahahawai, the hero of getting out of that rotation for her team, swinging so hard. That shows you the confidence she has tonight here against Kansas.
Carissa Barnes. Free ball for the Longhorns. Instead, they simply get the point. Match point on the way. Texas took the opening set 25-17, dropped the second, took the third 25-18, and trying to end it right now. Instead, we play on.
If you're Carissa Barnes, you're praying that ball goes to you so you can prove yourself with that 3-option pass. She was going for that deep float right idea, just too powerful.
And a substitution for the Jayhawks, Molly Schultz, with 6 aces on the season. The senior getting ready to serve again. Match point for the Longhorns. Swindle, Molly Phillips, and there it is. Texas takes down number 17 Kansas 3-1.